name's Curney, and this is my coworker Ryan, and welcome to Leucadia Wastewater District. We're going to show you guys some of the equipment that we use on a daily basis here at Leucadia Wastewater District. So let's take a walk and see some of this equipment. So the first piece of equipment that I want to show you guys is what we call our CCTV camera. Have you guys ever heard of an RC car? Raise your hands if you guys ever heard of a remote control car. That's basically what this is. It's a big remote control car that we can bring and we can put into the sewer pipe, and we can run the camera in there and we can see what's going on. You might be wondering, what exactly is a sewer pipe? If you've ever washed your hands or flushed your toilets and imagined where or wondered where that water goes, it goes through a series of underground pipes that are about this big. That's what we call the sewer pipe. This camera right here, we want to see what's going on in the sewer pipe. We're looking for certain things that are growing in there, and we can drive the camera out into the sewer pipe. You'll see the camera driving out. We can drive it all the way out. We can turn this inside of the sewer pipe. We can do turns, big turns. You can see it turning this way. We can turn it all the way around, and we can drive it and we can reverse it. The main reason we're doing this, like I said, is we're looking for anything that does not belong inside of the sewer pipes. I'm sure you guys have some questions as to what doesn't belong in the sewer pipes, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. We can raise the camera up if we ever come into too much water where we can't see and we need to raise that camera up. We can raise it, and we can keep driving, and we can turn it while the camera's up.
We can't hear you.
We can turn it. I want you guys to start thinking of some questions right now as far as what we can see with this camera. Anything in that sewer pipeline we can see. If you guys take a walk on the inside, I'll show you exactly what a sewer pipe looks like and what we look for. So if you guys come on into the truck here, this is where we control the camera. On this screen, this is a video that we took inside of the sewer pipe. So you can see the pipe itself is not that big. The pipe is never meant to be full of water. We don't want it full of water. If it's full of water, that means something's stopping that water from flowing or moving. You can see that in anything that we see on the screen, we can document right here. We can make notes, and we can turn it into our boss. We can say, hey, boss, this is what we saw inside of the sewer pipe. This screen right here, this is what the camera is looking at right now. So you see that screen? That's how we would, everything that we see right now, you see the camera turning, that's me controlling the camera right here. I'm driving the camera out. Raise your hands if you guys like playing video games. Yeah, everybody likes playing video games. So don't I, and they pay me to play this video game. Almost every day I get to play with this camera. It's a big video game. This screen right here, it's a lot going on this screen. All this is telling me is what the camera is doing. Because that pipe is round, the camera might want to climb up that wall. And if it climbs up, it might flip itself over. We don't want to flip it. So that's why we can control it here. We can steer it and tell it exactly where we want it to go. Now we're going to move into the back of the truck here. Inside of the back of the truck, this is just where we would work on the camera. We work on the camera once a week. We want to make sure that the equipment is good and it's working, it's running. Those wheels are turning. We can play the video game every day. This big box right here that has this orange cable, it has 1,500 feet of cable. Now, 1,500 feet is about this big, right? Does everybody think this is 1,500 feet? It's a lot more. Okay, so we can drive 1,500 feet. Imagine if you had a remote control car that you can drive for 1,500 feet. That's a lot of football fields. That's a lot of baseball fields. That's a lot of basketball and soccer courts. So now's the time for questions. Did anybody think of any questions that they want to ask about the camera or about the sewer system?
Remember, we're asking questions. They have to speak really, really loudly so they can hear you. Okay?
I'd also like to hear a cool story if you guys have one.
Okay.
Why can't toys not go down the drain?
Yeah, why can't toys go down the drain? That's a great question. We don't want to put toys down the drain. One, because we're not going to have that toy anymore. Once we flush that toy, we don't have that toy anymore. That toy's in the sewer pipe. And we don't want to put it into the drain for the second reason. It could catch on something and it could stop the water from flowing. And if it stops the water from flowing, that creates what we call a blockage. The water has nowhere to go, so it's got to find somewhere, and it might spill out onto the streets. And we don't want this type of water onto the streets. Very good question. Any other questions?
Why can we not put food down the drain?
Why can you not put food down the drain? So you don't want to put any large objects down the drain that are not meant to be down the drain. So if you have a garbage disposal, that's a good way to make big food into small food, and that's okay. So some food can go down the drain, but we wouldn't want to put a whole banana down the drain.
Why can't we put oil down the drain?
So you don't want to put oil, you especially don't want to put oil down the drain. And the reason is once the oil hits the cold water, it'll get hard. And once it gets hard in the pipes, it'll take a pipe that's this big, and all that oil that keeps building up will shrink the pipe down till it's this big. And then the water can't flow through there, and things will get caught on it, and it'll create that stoppage or that blockage that we talked about where water can't flow. And if water can't flow, it'll find somewhere to go and it'll spill up into the streets. And remember, we don't want that water on the street.
Why can you not put a house down the drain?
You can't. Why can you not put a house down the drain? That's another good question. I don't think a house could fit down the drain.
Okay, let's do some real questions. Real questions. Okay.
Why can't you put anything down the drain, like a magnet?
Okay, why could you put any sand down the drain?
So again, all that sand, it's gonna be heavy and it's gonna sink to the bottom. Think about if you throw sand in the air, it wants to fall to the ground. That's the same thing in the sewer pipes. It's gonna want to fall to the ground. And once you get so much sand in there, it makes the pipe that's this big, and water cannot flow through there. So that's why you wouldn't want to dump sand. It's okay if you go to the beach and you want to wash your hands or you want to take a shower, that's okay. But you wouldn't want to put a handful of sand down the drain.
Why can't you put concrete down the drain?
If you put concrete down the drain, it'll get hard. And again, if it gets hard, it'll take the pipe that's this big and make it this big. Water can't flow and water will go up onto the streets or maybe even into your house.
Last one, right here. Last one. Okay, what's your
Why
question?
can we not put grass down the drain?
Why can't we put grass down the drain?
Another great question. With grass, it'll keep collecting. If you put a lot of it down the drain, it'll keep collecting, and eventually it will cause a problem. So the only thing you want to put down the drain is hand soap, dish soap, things like that.
Why can't you put candy down the drain?
Why can't you put candy? If you put candy down the drain, that means you're not eating it. That's why I wouldn't put candy down the drain. I like to eat candy. So if there's no more questions for me, I'm going to turn you over to my coworker, Ryan, who I introduced you to earlier. And Ryan's going to show you a very big truck, and he's going to explain how this big truck works. Thanks for your questions.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yeah!
All right, that's what I want to hear. Again, my name is Ryan. Thank you, Curney, for introducing me. I'm going to be talking about the Vector combination truck. So take a tour over here.
I've seen this truck.
All right, so this is a combination truck because it does two major things. The first one is a vacuum. This is the debris tank where everything gets vacuumed and stored. It's a 500-gallon tank. And this is our water tank that we use to clean. This is 1,000 gallons of water, which is basically 200 of these. And then my coworker is going to be showing you guys how the vacuum works. If you look up here, this is the tube that we use to suck up any material that you guys or that may go down the pipes, like those toys, the concrete, anything that's not supposed to be in the pipes. This thing will suck it up and we'll take care of it. Now we can boom it up, we can boom it down, we can go left, we can go right. We have all kind of capability with this thing, and it's a very, very strong vacuum. It would probably suck your hand up if you got in there. So we got to be very careful. All right, so that is the first major function of this truck. I'll be showing you the second one. Now this is a high pressure water hose. Imagine kind of like the water hose you have at your home, but a lot more powerful. It has 500 feet of hose on the front of this reel, and it connects to a water nozzle that shoots the water out of these small holes and creates a water laser that cuts up any material like roots, grease, grit. So anything that's blocking this pipe, this thing will clean and cut and flush down. Now, what are some things that, other than toys, that go down the pipe that we don't want to put down there? You guys have any other idea what would go down there that we don't want?
Why can't you put dinosaurs down the drain?
Dinosaurs? Well, if they're alive, I don't think we could fit them in the pipes.
Okay.
Some other things that we don't want to put down the pipes is wipes. Remember those, no wipes down the pipes, because those wipes get clogged and they can cause a blockage, so the water can't flow through their pipe anymore, like Curney was talking about. So Curney's going to show you how it works, all right? So we're going to turn this water nozzle on. It creates like a rocket, and this front of this nozzle spins and cuts up anything in its way, like those water lasers I was talking about. Now this is very powerful.
Wow. Oh, my.
Any questions about that pipe?
How does the water spit out?
So
of the
how
thing?
does the water spin out of it?
How does the water spin out of it? Okay, so the water comes from those tanks I was talking about, and it goes through the hose, and it goes through the nozzle where it has little holes. And so the water flows into the nozzle and comes out those little holes so powerful. Like I said, it creates almost like a water laser. And at the front of that is oil that helps it spin. And that's what creates that spinning motion that cuts up any material in the pipe. Any other questions you guys got?
How strong is the hose?
How strong is the hose?
The hose is very strong. It's double reinforced. We try to do our best to take care of the hose. Sometimes it does get caught up on sharp objects, so we'll have to make small repairs to it, but the hose is very strong.
Okay, what's your question?
My toilet is home. It's like a tornado.
It is like a water tornado, huh?
Okay, any questions about the pipe? What's your question, Penny?
My downstairs toilet, it gets clogged a lot. And
Oh no.
it comes out.
Are you're not putting down wipes or grease down that pipe, are you?
No. Okay.
Because those are kind of things that clog up pipes.
Okay, any questions about that pipe?
How will it get the water?
How does it get the water?
Good question. So we connect to those yellow fire hydrants that you see in the streets, and we use this hose right here to connect to the water hydrant, and that's how we fill up these water tanks. We can also use reclaimed water, which is with treated sewer, and that way we're reusing it, and it's more environmentally safe.
Can we say thank you?
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.